Okay, greetings, my friends. How are you today? This is Celine Driver again. This is a video I'm making that's not going to include watches. It's not going to be about cars. It's not going to be about politics. Just making sure that I'm seeing what I'm supposed to see on my preview here with the phone. This is going to be about an incident that happened on Friday, May 22nd, 2020, between myself and Uber Eats. I'm pissed off about, and I'm going to tell you about it because they're not going to give me any level of satisfaction, and I am unhappy. Briefly, Friday night, I had been fighting a headache all day, as usually happens with me in my decrepit life. My daughter was hungry. She wanted something to eat. I really wasn't in the mood to cook, so I said, like I've said many times before, go ahead and pick something to get off of Uber Eats, which up until this point we've had great success with. She picked a restaurant. It was a sushi restaurant here in Sarasota, Florida, called Ginza. And I don't blame Ginza for this at all. So I want to make that perfectly clear. Ginza in no way, to me, is at fault here. Order was placed. There's roughly about 10 after 5 p.m. Maybe 15 after. And we were told that the food would be here about 6 o'clock. I had Uber Eats map up on my screen, and I started watching, how things were doing as I was doing other things. Driver, who I will not name, shows up at Ginza, let's say 5:30, 5:40-ish, somewhere in there. And if you're familiar with Sarasota, Ginza is on a road called Fruitville, which is northern part of Sarasota, near I-75, near where I-75 and Fruitville have an interchange. I live somewhat south and maybe a little to the east of that. But as I watch the car icon decides to go north and west, completely the opposite direction of where I'm supposed to go, or where it's supposed to go from my house. Long story short, he ends up somewhere around Ringling College of Art and Design, which is Martin Luther King Boulevard and US 41, which is, let's say, completely the opposite direction, both in terms of north-south and east-west. If he wanted to pick a further place to get from where he was to my house, he picked it way out there. I messaged him reminding him that sushi is a meal that is supposed to be served cold, not room temperature. No reply. So after doing whatever the hell he was doing at wherever the hell he was, he decides to turn around and took possibly the stupidest route back to where I was by using US 41 through the heart of Sarasota, through at least 2 construction zones, past the hospital, past major intersections, all along the route south, all the way to the road he chose to take to go east. Long story short on that one, he made 3 wrong turns between turning off of US 41 and finally getting to my house somewhere around 6:45. So way late, way stupid in terms of the way he chose to go about it, and still never replying to any of my messages. And then to top it all off, instead of ringing the doorbell or knocking on my door and apologizing, he simply opens the screen door in front of my entryway, drops the food on the ground, and then runs away like a bitch. Okay? He runs away like a bitch. Gets in his car and speeds off. The only reason I heard him leave was when he slammed the screen door closed. And there is my sushi for my daughter. It's warm. It's at basically ambient temperature. And, well, fortunately she ate it anyway and didn't get sick. Let me check my phone here. We're doing good. Okay. So she ate. And as of this afternoon, she is not sick. In fact, she's out with some folks, friends right now, having lunch. So, meanwhile, I have copious notes. I have emails. I emailed after digging through Uber Eats website until I found a place where I could fill out a complaint. And I told basically that story. And this is the first response I got at 12:53 a.m. on May 23rd. I apologize for the inconvenience caused you. We're sorry to hear about your experience ordering from Ginza. We will do our best to fulfill every order on time, but sometimes delays happen. Pardon me. For the inconvenience, I have added $5 in cash to your Uber account, which can be used at any restaurant, blah, blah, blah. Moreover, we are sorry to hear that your delivery partner did not act in a professional manner. Uber Eats certainly has certain quality and safety standards we hope our delivery partners adhere to, and I understand that your expectation was not met. We suggest you pass the feedback directly to the delivery partner, which is pointless. To which my reply, pardon me again, was to wit. So let me get this right. You classified this as delays happen, quote unquote. Sir, this was not a delay. I watched the map through the entire process. This was a driver who picked up a sushi order, food meant to be served cold, from a restaurant located well north of my home and proceeded to drive further north with it. Made a stop, proceeded to drive straight south through the heaviest trafficked part of Sarasota. He did not respond to my messages, though he had ample time to do so at various traffic lights. He eventually ambled into my area of Sarasota, made a wrong turn, corrected himself, made another wrong turn, corrected himself, and made another wrong turn and corrected himself. And then I went on about the part about he ran away and everything. And for all this stupidity, and yes, I will call it that, I get $5 and a weak apology. What good would saying something to Ginza do? It wasn't their fault. It was the driver. I spent $35 on food, and with all the fees and tip, and I got a room temperature sushi meal delivered by a cowardly, unprofessional driver 45 minutes later than expected, without a hint of apology or explanation, and no way to get my money back, etc., etc. Satisfaction, which I'm sure I will not get, would be a full refund at the least, and the dismissal of the driver from Uber Eats, at least a full refund. This whole incident was unacceptable, blah, 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 blah. Reply at 7, that email was sent by me at 7:10 a.m. on the 23rd. 7:26, I get a reply. Hello, we're sorry to hear that your order didn't meet expectations. We have processes in place to review this type of feedback with restaurant, so we appreciate you telling us about this. We already refunded you $5 for the inconvenience. Though we are not able to give you any further adjustments at the moment, we make sure that we are keeping the experience positive for our customers. The quality or temperature of food delivered may be affected due to the following reasons. Blah, 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 blah. So, again, no satisfaction. My reply at 7:36 a.m. on the 23rd. This was not a quality of food issue due to packaging or prep, nor was this traffic related. This was 100% due to the driver deciding for whatever reason to take a food item that needs to be served cold taking it miles and miles out of the way in the wrong direction, proceeding to screw up the route once he finally decided to do his job and deliver my order. I watched the whole thing on the map. The whole thing was not due to outside forces. This was due to your driver being stupid. I have no way to contact the delivery person, and you know that. And even if I did, given his cowardly performance last night, and yes, I did use the word cowardly, not responding to my messages, not knocking on my door, leaving my food on my front porch, running away, I doubt he'd even respond to me. As for Ginza, I hold them completely innocent in this matter. Lesson learned. 1. For food items like this, Uber Eats can obviously not be trusted. I won't use you again. 2. You won't stand behind your customers against obviously uncaring and incompetent drivers. 3. I wasted $35 that could have landed someone on food that could have landed someone in the hospital. Again, sushi is to be served cold, not ambient temperature. 4, you don't care. I'll be sure to communicate this as far and wide as I can. Uber is obviously a great company when you need a ride, but God forbid you need food delivered correctly and properly. You're taking your health in your own hands. I remain 100% dissatisfied. Reply at 7:48. They're getting quicker. Hi, Dan. My name is Oscar from Uber Priority Support Team. I'll assist you with this. I understand how upsetting it can be to have this unexpected issue with the delivery person, especially when it means an important delay in your delivery and your food arriving cold. See, he didn't even bother to read, Oscar. The food was supposed to be cold. It was served warm. I know that this order did not meet quality standards you've come to expect. I also understand the importance of receiving an order at the right temperature. Well, at least he sort of corrected himself. Rest assured this will be appropriately documented for internal review. From there, the delivery person will be informed and proper actions will be taken. BS. Reply from me, 9:04 a.m. I had other things to do. So that's it. I wasted $35, risked food poisoning, was delayed, and put out for a $5 refund and platitudes about customer service and internal reviews. I surrender. You folks are obviously not going to do anything further. Pathetic. Believe it or not, they replied to that. Miguel this time. Part of Uber's support team. We understand you want additional compensation for the inconvenience. That is not in accordance with our standards at this time. We will be unable to... They put $5 in my account. Magically. They couldn't put another $30 in the account? Come on now. Really? If it's easy enough to put $5 in, why can't you put $30 in? However, and this is in bold, however, we've noted your feedback and are further reviewing the situation. Please know that we work hard to avoid these kinds of inconveniences and offer you the smoothest and hassle-free service. Blah, blah, blah. By the way, I chose to print all these out, so these are verbatims from me and from them, so that if they come at me because of this video with you lied or you're exaggerating, no, there's no hyperbole here. These are your words. These are my words. These are the words from emails. Like I said before, this is my reply at 9:43 a.m. on the 23rd. Like I said before, I give up now. I've said my piece. You have said yours. I find it impossible to believe that you don't have the ability to credit money back to an account. You just did that for me earlier. You all don't care, and that's fine, I guess, but I'm done now since you've declared you're done with this too. Final message at 10:08 a.m., May 23rd. We understand this has been disappointing and are sorry to hear this has been such a poor experience. We appreciate blah, blah, blah. We blah, 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 blah. Garbage. Pure garbage. Now, copious notes. Now, I could have easily, and I will do so in the future, I could have easily gotten into my car, driven about, let's be generous, 10 miles, probably a little less, from my house to my local Publix, where everybody seems to know me on site, and half of them know me by name, and picked up sushi from them, which is actually pretty good stuff considering. It would have been made that day. It would have been better than Ginza, because I've eaten at Ginza before, and I find their food to be of, at best, average quality. Though my daughter seems to like it. And am we still recording? We are still recording. I'm sorry that this is dragging out a little bit. And I could have gotten her Publix sushi, been there and back in 30 minutes easily. It would have been cold, which is the way sushi is meant to be. It would have been fresh, which is the way sushi is meant to be. And it would have been tasty, which is the way sushi is meant to be. So my recommendation to you, my friends, is I wouldn't bother with these delivery services at all. They charge ridiculous fees. You can't get your money back if they screw up. Because, as they say in the notes here, refunds for this kind of stupidity on their part and their representatives' part are not refundable. They gave me $5 back. That basically covers the tip I gave, and I will never tip in advance again to these Uber drivers. If I decide to use Uber Eats again, I will not tip in advance. Basically, I got my tip money back, and that's it. So I'm out $30 for $15 worth of sushi. I'm pissed off. I worried most of the night that my daughter is going to wake up at 2 in the morning puking her guts out from food poisoning, which fortunately she didn't. And I get this garbage response from Uber Eats mouthing platitudes about customer service and you're this and you're that and you're important to us, but we really can't do anything for you, so screw you. So I'm not going to use these deliveries anymore. A lot of these places have curbside. A lot of these places have the ability to go and pick up food or have their own delivery system, which is above and beyond. And I'm done with Uber Eats. And I was long ago done with Bite Squad and the other ones before this even. So my recommendation to you is if you're going to use Uber Eats, use them for food that's cooked and that is supposed to be served warm or hot. Don't use Uber Eats or any of these guys for anything that's supposed to be served cold, because it ain't going to happen. And when it doesn't happen, their attitude basically is, screw you. We have your money, and we don't care anymore. At least that's the way I see it. So, I'm done ranting now. I'll put these notes away for if they message me about this video with a cease and desist order, which will basically be me saying, screw you. I'm telling the truth, and I have the paperwork to prove it. So, that's all I got to say about this. My recommendation, bottom line, don't use these guys. They don't give a damn. And deal directly with your restaurant. And let the Uber drivers do what they do best, which is give you a ride from point A to point B and offer piss-poor conversation. So that's it. Thanks for listening. I hope I didn't bore you too much. That's all. Have a good rest of the day.